What's up, poker people of YouTube? We're back with another Vodinh poker vlog. For this one, I'm going to make this the Vodinh vlog number 17. We had some footage from last session where we won 270 and then we came back and lost about 140 where we didn't have footage. But I decided not to post that because we played only for an hour and we had about 6 pocket pairs and then 2 or 3 playable hands. And I thought that'd be no fun to post just an hour worth of footage where it's only pocket pairs and they're pretty straightforward hands. In the future, if you guys want that, I will post that. Just let me know in the comments below. I'll post all the footage in the future moving forward. But I just thought it was boring because I play a very lag style and I want to show the more entertaining plays, especially in Texas, because Texas is wild. It's no fun if I'm doing straightforward analysis on 6 pocket pair hands when I could be doing analysis on a 5 deuce offsuit hand, right? So let me know if you want to see that footage in the future, and then I'll keep it and then edit it and post it next time. But for this one, we are back at 52 social, 1-3 match to stack, only hold'em, no ROE. Let's get into it. Let's have a good session. What's up, YouTube? We're back at 52 social poker today. We are going to be hopping in the 1-3 match to stack. We're in for $900, $100 tip chip, so basically in for $1,000. Let's run it up for you guys. Only hold'em, no ROE this time. So we buy in the game for $1,000, $900 cash, $100 tip chips. In the second hand, we have pocket 4s in the big blind. Hijack opens for $15. We make the call, going to set mine. Flop comes 6, 8, 9. Not too bad of a flop for us. Heads up, we check it. Hijack makes it $15. We call on this spot. Turn brings the ace of hearts. I check it again. Hijack makes it $25. I decide to flat for one more street. Maybe this ace is a scare card and he's trying to get us off of it. The flop shouldn't have hit his range too much. River's queen of diamonds, so now we're going to look to check fold. We check it, he checks it back, and he shows us pocket kings and takes it down. In this next hand, we have 5, 6 of spades in the cutoff. Low jack makes it $13. The hijack, myself, the small blind call, and the big blind folds. We go 4 ways to the flop, which comes 7, queen, deuce, rainbow. Not a good flop for us, so if anyone bets, we're obviously going to fold, but it checks around instead. Turn brings the 4 of clubs. Now we have equity to the open-ended straight draw. Small blind bets $30. It folds to us, and I think we have an easy call here with open-ended, pretty disguised hand. River brings a 5 of diamonds, so now we paired our 5s. When the small blind checks to us, I take this as weakness. Our 5 could be good here. If not, we want to try to bluff, semi-bluff off his hand. I would think that a queen would bet 4 ways onto the flop, so I don't think a big bet is required here, so we bet 50 into the 115 pot. The small blind does call and shows queen jack offsuit, so he takes that pot down too. This hand we wake up with a premium in ace king offsuit, under the gun +1. Under the gun limps, I make it $20. The low jack calls, small blind folds, big blind under the gun call. So we go 4 ways to a flop, which comes ace, 9, 8, rainbow. Good flop for us. Small blind under the gun check it. We continue for $50, multi-way. Only the low jack calls and the small blind and undergun folds, so we go heads up to a turn, which is the queen of hearts. This could be a scare card for ace, queen, jack 10, but we're going to continue on the street. We bet $100 into the 181 pot. Low jack thinks for a while, asking if that queen scared us at all or should be slowing us down, and he makes a call. So when he makes his call, I'm really worried that he might have the ace queen here more so than jack 10, if anything, with his speech play. River brings a pretty favorable card for us, though. It's the king of hearts. So the backdoor heart draw does get there, but that's not a card that should really hit his calling range. So we're going to target his 2 pair hands. If he has a set or straight, he's just going to take it down. So this king of hearts is kind of a weird card because we know he shouldn't have too many backdoor flush draws in his range, but this is definitely a scare card for him rather than us. So we look to bet 50% or so. We bet 200 into 381. The low jack tanks for a while before making his fold of ace queen face up. Good fold to you, sir. Kind of sucks that we couldn't get value from it, but we're happy to have caught up on the river and take down the pot. In this hand, we have ace king offsuit again. We're in the cutoff. The button straddle is on. Small blind, big blind limp to $6. We make it $21. The button folds, small blind and big blind call, so we go 3 ways to a flop, which comes ace, jack, 6, 2 diamonds and a heart. Pretty good flop for us. Small blind, big blind check it. We bet $30. Small blind folds, big blind calls. So now we have to consider the diamond draw or straight draws. The turn brings the 4 of spades, pretty safe card for us to continue. When the big blind checks to us, we bet $65. The big blind does in fact call again. The river brings a jack of spades, so he could have a jack X hand that he was floating, but I feel like a jack X hand would have folded on the flop or turn. When he leads $75 into us, we have to call here. That price is way too good for such a strong hand that we have, so we do in fact make the call, and the big blind shows 8-9 of diamonds for the missed diamond draw. Like every other vlog, this wouldn't be a 52 social vlog without playing the 5 deuce offsuit. We are in the low jack with 5 deuce offsuit. We open for $20, hijack, cutoff, make the call, small blind, big blind, fold. 3 ways to flop, which comes pretty decent for us. It's ace, ace, 3, 2 spades, and a heart. We have the gutter ball to the 4, so we're obviously continue on this board for $25, and both players let their hands go. Nice pot to scoop with the 5 deuce offsuit. We have ace-10 offsuit in the big blind in this hand, low jack, cutoff, button, small blind, all limp. With a decent hand, we pop it up to $18, only the low jack and button call. 3 ways to flop, which comes queen, queen, 3, rainbow. The button has about 60-70 effective, and he's probably one of the tightest players on the table, so a small c-bet should do the trick if he doesn't have anything. Otherwise, he will be putting it all in. We bet $15, low jack folds, and the button, as expected, goes all in for around $60 effective. We have an easy fold here. We risk the minimum and get the information we need, and yeah, on to the next hand. This hand we wake up again with ace-10 offsuit, except this time we're in the small blind. Under the gun +1 and cutoff limp, we make it $15. The big blind +1 and the cutoff all call, so we go 4 ways to a flop, which comes ace-10, 3, 1 diamond, 2 hearts, so we flop aces up, top 2. We continue for $15, and weirdly enough, all 3 players call. We go to a turn, which is the 9 of clubs. Now I'm scared that they might have heart draws, so we're going to size up now that we're still 4 ways multi-way. We bet $70 into 120, and only the cutoff makes the call. The river is a king of diamonds, so it's a pretty safe card for us. Only queen jack gets there, and that would be a open-ended on the turn, gutter ball on the flop, so very unlikely holding to have called on the flop and turn. I think we have the best hand, so we're going to go for value. We jam him all in for around $70-80 effective, and he makes the call. Our ace-10 offsuit is good, and he would later say that he had ace-9, and he turned the 2 pair. So cooler situation, but we had the best hand on the flop and pre-flop, actually, and we take down the pot. We're against the same player again, same villain. He comes back and buys in for $200 after us stacking him. We have ace-king offsuit in the button straddle. Small blind, big blind, hijack, limp it. So limp of $6. 4 ways for that pot. I kind of wanted to take down the dead money or hopefully flop well. So we pop it up to $36, looking to take down the $18 dead in the middle. Small blind folds, big blind, and hijack call. So we're going 3 ways to a flop, which comes jack, 5, 6, 1 diamond, 2 hearts. The big blind and hijack check it. If I can take down this pot right now, I will. So I overbet 120 into 114. Basically a pot size bet. The big blind folds and the hijack jams for 160 effective. So he just bought back in, and $40 more. We're obviously not folding with our 2 overs and backdoor draws. So we do make the call reluctantly, and we run 2 boards with no improvement on both of them, and the hijack shows us jack-10 offsuit. So he called pretty light pre-flop, and he hits his jack on the flop and just happens to get it in with us. I'm not sure I can disagree with my flop bet. Maybe I sized down significantly, but it is what it is, and on to the next hand. Who would have thought you guys get another 5 deuce hand in this vlog? We're in the button straddle. The big blind limps it. +1 makes it $20. We make the call. Big blind also makes a call. We go 3 ways to flop, which comes 10, deuce, queen, 2 clubs and a heart, so we flop bottom pair. It checks us. We decide to lead or take advantage of the situation and bet in this spot and bet $25. Both big blind and +1 calls, so we go 3 ways, continue to a turn, which comes a queen of diamonds. Not too bad of a card, but after both of them calling, I feel like they're much stronger than we are, so When it checks us, we decide to check. River brings the 8 of diamonds. The big blind leads for $65 and the +1 folds. As played, I decided to call on the spot thinking his club draws missed, and with him being so passive, check calling every street as well as checking the turn. In hindsight, I think I like a raise more with such a weak holding. I don't think I'm strong enough to be bluff catching with just the pair of deuces. So if he has over pairs, say sixes through or threes through nines, pocket pairs, or even a 10, I feel like a raise will do the trick. We can represent the queen and the trap on the turn. So I do in fact like a raise a lot more, but as played, we do just call, and he shows us king deuce of hearts, and he takes down that pot with a better kicker. In this next hand, we force ourselves into a very bad spot against a pretty solid player. We have king-jack of clubs in the small blind, low-jack, hijack, cutoff, button, limpet. We decide to open large and try to take down the dead money with this decent holding that one can play well post-flop. We pre-flop raise to $40. The big blind low jack fold, only the hijack calls and the cutoff button folds. So we go heads up to a flop, which isn't what we were expecting, to 6-5-4 rainbow. So we do have our over still and the backdoor club draw. We decide to continue big on this flop. I think this is our first mistake against a solid player who already limp called the $40. His hand should be pretty capped to jacks or better, if not kings or aces. So we bet a sizing of 120, which is overbetting pot of 101. The hijack makes the call, so obviously we're shutting down at this point, but I think this is about $120 that we could have saved, or we could have just sized down to a same continuation bet of our pre-flop bet, say $30, $40, and get the same information. The turn brings the 6 of hearts. We check it to him, and he continues for $225. We obviously have an easy fold, but this is about $80 to $100 that we punted off that we did not need to. Anyways, mistakes were made. On to the next hand. Let's continue our trend of punting and see if it works. In this hand, we are in the hijack with ace-5 offsuit. The button straddle is on. I myself and the cutoff limp to $6. The button makes it $26. Trying to squeeze, I think. So I make the call and the cutoff makes the call as well. We're out of position. What could possibly go wrong? Flop comes 10-9-6 rainbow. I decide to check in first position, and the cutoff and button also check behind. Turn brings a 7 diamonds. I'm going to take the initial lead now. I bet $50 trying to take down the dead money in the pot. The cutoff calls and the button folds. So we need a lot of help, or we're just going to have to make a big move on the river. River comes a 4 of diamonds. I bet $100 into the $182 pot. The cutoff tanks for a while before making the fold. I don't know what I'm trying to represent with this line aside from bluff or nut, so if it's a backdoor straight or flop straight, maybe that works, but there's not too many hands in my range that I could be credibly representing with a pre-flop call of $26, but it worked. The line might not make sense, but we'll be happy to take down the pot. This is just an instance where I think bad play is getting rewarded. I don't think I made a good bluff at all. I don't have any blockers. The 5 is not a good card to have in my range. I can't credibly be representing sets or straights really. So I think it's just a bad line. It's a big bluff that just happens to work because it's a big bluff. And yeah, on to the next hand. We're under the gun, and finally we look down at a playable hand. Pocket aces. I limp, trying to do the old OMC limp trap 3-bet, knowing that my table's active and knowing I'm under the gun. Low jack makes it $15 right away. The button calls. I 3-bet to $45. Not too big of a sizing that both players can effectively call. Low jack and button, as expected, do call. Flop comes king 9 deuce, 2 clubs and a heart. Pretty good flop for us. We want them to have a king in their range. We bet $85 to $135, and sadly enough, both players fold, and we take down the pot. Happy to have built a pot pre-flop, though, to take down all that dead money. Just sucks that no one had a king in that spot. Back-to-back premiums. We're in the big blind with ace-queen of diamonds. The under the gun, low jack, hijack, button, small blind, all limp. We're not going to let them in cheap for a multi-way pot. We pop it up to $25. Only the low jack and a hijack call. Everyone else folds. 3 ways to flop, which comes Jack, 9, 4, 1 diamond, heart, and a club, rainbow. We have the backdoor diamond draw with overpairs. I don't think we need to lead on this flop, so we decide to check it. Low jack checks as well. Hijack bets $60. In this spot, I know it's a pretty sizable bet into an $81 pot. So long term, maybe it's minus EV, but if we do peel and make our ace or queen, it's very likely that we can get paid off as well, because it's not too often that someone's going to peel with their overcards. We also have backdoor diamond draws, so we can reevaluate a turn if we brick. The low jack folds after we make the call, so we go heads up to a turn, which comes the queen of spades. Pretty good turn for us. We decide to trap now with our top. If the low jack if the hijack continues to bet, we're going to get paid even more. So we check. Hijack, sadly enough, only checks back. So when the river comes to 6 of diamond blank, we're going to need a bet. We can't let the villain do the betting for us. We decide on a sizing of the same bet she made on the flop, $60 into 201. She tanks for a while before reluctantly putting in the calling chips, and our ace queen is good. In these last 2 hands, we're against the same villain that kicked our butt in the first 2 hands of the vlog. We have 10-9 offsuit and the low jack. Normally I wouldn't play this hand, but I'm about to be done with the session soon and I'm up, so I'm feeling frisky. I limp the cutoff and button limp, small blind folds, and big blind checks their option. Flop comes 10-3 deuce, all heart, so we flop top pair. Big blind checks it. I'm going to defend my top pair, bet $15 into $13 pot. The cutoff calls and the button and big blind folds, so we go heads up against our villain. The turn is a 7 of clubs, pretty safe card for us. We continue for $30, trying to charge any heart draw. The big blind does in fact call. River is a 3 of clubs, so now we have 10s and 3s with the 9 kicker. I decide to bet $30, looking to blocker bet. If he raises, we have nothing to do but fold, but I feel like we can get a crying call from a deuce or maybe a weaker 10. The big blind could have any 2 cards, so I do make the bet and the big blind does call, and our 10-9 offsuit is good. In our little last hand of the session, as well for the vlog, we have ace king of clubs under the gun. I announced to the table that this is my last hand before I even look at the cards. I opened for $20 with ace king suited. The low jack, button, and big blind made the call. We're going 4 ways to flop, which comes pretty favorable. It's ace, ace, 9, diamond, heart, spade. 4 ways to flop. Big blind checks it. I continue for 50% of the pot, which is $40 into 81. Low jack makes a call and the button big blind folds. When he makes his call, it's pretty clear that he has some ace x hand. Turn brings a queen of spades. It's a kind of scary card, but if he has ace queen, he has ace queen, so be it. We continue for $60 into 161, looking to get the money in the middle. He raises to 125. At this point, I think we can easily get all of it in the middle, so I jam about 400 effective for his full stack. We cover him. The low jack throws 1 chip to signal a call, and I'll let you guys watch the rest.
Once or twice? Twice is fine. Told you it's my last hand. Oh man, leaving 52 social right now. Last hand, under the gun, ace king suited. That's a nice one to have. Flop comes ace ace. He's basically dead to his other card for the boat. That's a good one to end on. We're in the game for 1,000, out of the game for 2,120. With a profit of 1,120. Yeah, good session. See you guys on the next one.